Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing readings for... Thank you for 800 subscribers, finally. We finally get the chance to do this one. So we have 5 8 cards. Everything's to have to do with 8s. And we have Banner here to help celebrate. So we have the 8 of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, the 8 of Swords, and the 8 of Cups. And then we have the Higher Arcana 8, which is Strength as well. So the readings are going to be basically for whatever what you need to know right now, but it's all going to be on the theme of Tarot 8s, so for 800 subscribers. So I will put the timestamps in the description. Feel into the cards, and one or more of these will have a message for you. And there's a thunderstorm going on, so you might hear thunder. And I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the readings. Bye! Hello to all of you who chose the first card, which is the Tarot 8 of Pentacles. So this tarot, I forgot to mention what tarot and runes I'm using today. I'm using the Elder Futhark on Carnelian stones, and I'm using the Lepus Tarot, which I haven't used in a little while. So I thought it would be good to use. So, the 8 of Pentacles has to do with working towards mastery. It's just basically everything that you do hones your skills, and everything you do brings you closer to mastery, or at least mastery over what you had been able to do before. So let's move this over here. So your theme is probably going to be something along that lines. I do have an English degree. Along those lines. So let's get the reading down. I hope you're well. Oh, perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better rune, even though they're very, very wiggly. I hope you're doing well. We're having a thunderstorm, or at least a rainstorm, which is occasionally throwing out some thunder. I still haven't seen any auroras. Toronto's skies just want to protect us so much from seeing auroras. Well, we do live right next, not next to it, but we live near the big. We live near the lake, and because we live near the lake, we don't personally live near the lake, but the city is near the lake, and so as a result, we have weather. So. Right. So card number 1, people, those of you who chose the 8 of Pentacles, working towards mastery. So your central issue or your central theme is Yira. It's the rune of the harvest and also time. So it shows not only that your focus is on bringing things through, but it's also knowing the right time to bring things through and giving it that focus. And it's that feeling of abundance and that feeling of bringing through something that is nourishing and knowing when the right season is to do these things. What leads up to this is you'll have this big epiphany. So we have Dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. You'll know when it's time. You'll know when the season is about to happen because you'll get this epiphany. So it's your entire field of vision is filled. It's all the light and color and air coming at you. It's the it's the full illumination, and then suddenly it's like, now is the time. It's like the heralding, the heralding angels coming out and going, oh, time to do this. So now you step up to it and you keep working on it. You bring things through. What is going to help you with that is we have Tivaz. Tivaz is Tears rune. Tears, the warrior god. And this has to do with tending to duties and responsibilities, driving forward on whatever your driving quest is, and also taking care of what needs to be taken care of. So I'm going to read this a couple of ways. First of all, obviously this is your drive. You're driving forward to continue to hone your skills and to become, better and better and better than your past selves. And you are driven to go forward and do these, especially when you get this call, the call to like, okay, it's a new season where we're going to bring this through. But it's also duties and responsibilities and things that need to be taken care of. So aside from this being your lifelong quest, what will also help you is making sure that you're taking care of the things that need to be done around you so that you can focus on this. So make sure that there's nothing that's going to be distracting you. Take the time to clear your space, to make sure that everything is healthy and clean. And then you're going to be focusing on that. I mean, obviously, if the call comes and you've just got to do it so that you don't lose the momentum, obviously do that. But that's another reason why around you, you're going to want to maintain as much as possible comfortable levels of healthiness. And that's what you're going to be doing. So have that foundation in place so that when this happens, you can do that. And then you can maintain that by, when you need a breather, you can maintain that around you so that it keeps you feeling healthy and able to focus. What isn't going to help you is we have Gebo. Gebo's the rune of the gift. The gift is always an exchange. Generally, I read this as agreements, decisions, plans, and goals. In this spot, in the not helping spot, coming from the call, I really see this as there is a sense of, if you weren't working on it, like when the call happened, you may feel like suddenly it's an obligation. And it should never be that, because it's your life's work. So it's one of those things where you're just like, like now I don't want to do it. It's because it's like now I have, the call has come. It's like, and it's really a momentum thing, I think, because it's the thing you love. It's the thing that means like the most to you in your life. So it is that sense of when the call comes through and you just feel like, I just sat down and, and suddenly, you feel like now is the time that you have to bring these things through. So there is that sense of that, but there's also a sense of what about my other obligations as well, which is why, as usual, the way I read, this is your path through the issue. This is what helps and this is what doesn't. These tend to be opposites, and this always is the antidote to this. So in this case, what isn't helping you is that sense of like dreading the obligation of the call, but also the obligations around you, the things that you need to be taken care of. But the antidote to that is that's why I'm taking care of them. That's why I'm making sure that I'm maintaining things around me so that when this is happening, I can give my full focus to that. But also to recall yourself to your quest. If this comes up and it's a like it feels like obligation that you want to sit and do this, remind yourself that this is your life's work. This is your life's quest. And you want to do this. You genuinely do. So that will help. Your next step on the path line, we have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. This has to do with chaos, things that are out of your control, weather, but also nature and your true nature. And what it basically comes to is once you're actively doing this, you are connecting with your true nature. It's also a bit of a power that flows through you, and it's very natural and very wild. And so letting that flow through you while you do this is going to be incredible, but it's also going to be overwhelming. And it's going to be, it may feel like, you're being really rocked by it. And it's huge. It's enormous, and it's moving through you. And as you do this, everything else has to fall away because this is the only thing that you can focus on. So what's going to help you with that? We have Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. Reversed, I usually read it three ways immediately, which is letting go of things that no longer serve you, finding home within, and stepping outside of your comfort zone. Every time you do this, you're honing it, you're focusing, and you're doing it, you're honing it, you're focusing it, and you're doing something with it you've never done before. And that can feel absolutely really terrifying, like it's too much. And that's what this was. Like this came in and it's everything in your face. And so once you reach the point where you're just letting it flow through you, it is so powerful and wild that it can get a bit scary, and it can basically distract you. It can feel like, it can be so much that you have to give it. It demands the focus. So what helps, definitely letting go of what no longer serves you. So that's releasing your distractions so that you can just focus on this. Finding home within, to be able to step into what is basically the eye of the storm or the calm in the storm, and to be the calm in the storm and to embody that while this is rocking through you, to be able to put your mind and or heart in that place is going to definitely help you while you're in this state. And third, to step outside of your comfort zone, to allow, while you're working on this, whatever this is that you're working on, allow yourself to push that. Like, if something really wild wants to come through, allow this, because this is how it becomes more than it ever was before, is allowing those more wildness, because that's where the life comes from in it. So just, if you're honing it, let it surge through, like let it become more than it's ever been before, because that's going to help you the most while you're doing this. What isn't going to help? We have Ingvaz, which is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is the fertility god. I read this as active creation, but it's also control, especially when it's in the lower line. And this is exactly where you don't want to be doing that. So it's like if you were gardening and then you were just trying to control the way the things were growing, you would kill it. And right now, when you're doing this, it's the stage at which you're allowing it to come through. You're allowing it to grow as it must, and you're allowing it to become as it must, and let it be as wild as it can. And if you put controls on that, and obviously you're going to be tempted to do that, because what's going to come through is going to look very different. Just fundamentally and in essence different from what you've done before, which is very exciting. It's still going to look like the natural progression of things, but you don't know that while you're doing it. You just feel like this is so wild, and you're bringing all your skills to it, but it's so wild, and it's a little bit frightening. And so you may be tempted to just like grab it and try to wrench it back, but that's not going to help you. Right now you're dealing with something that is huge, that is surging through you. So allow it, and let go of the things that might distract you from it, and let yourself step outside of your comfort zone, because you have that home base within you that you can step into, which is the eye of the storm, from which you can observe the eye. And that's your center. That's basically what's pinning the entire reading, is that act, and that act is this act. Your next step on the path line, we have Uruz reversed. Uruz is the rune of the wild ox. This has to do with strength and health and resistance. It is reversed on the path line. And so you're definitely thinking about, once you move out of this stage, you're looking at your inner strength, you're looking at your resilience, but you're also you're not resisting what's coming through, but also you feel like now you need to rest. You're not weak for doing this, for resting, but you may need to at this point. But you're sort of winding down, because the end of this chapter is coming. To spoiler, it's at the end. Like, you wrapped up the chapter, but this is your denouement part, where you're like bringing it down. This was the peak. This was the initiation. This was the spark. This is when you started. This is the peak of it. And then the next step is, okay, we're going to start winding down. We're still not going to resist what's coming through. And what's going to help you with that is we have Barkana, which is the rune of the birch tree. This has to do with beginnings and birth. Allow for the beginnings, allow new beginnings to be happening. That's basically what it's about. And so you are not resisting it, and what you're not resisting that is helping you the most is allowing for a new beginning. Like, this is a brand new thing that you're doing, and it's not like the other things. It is like the other things, but it's not like them because something new has come through this time. What isn't going to help is you're worried about your needs. We have Nauthiz, which is the rune of need, and this sort of carries forward from this one. This sense of wanting to control things, and this sense of this is like, we don't want to edit it just yet. We're still bringing it through. We're going to edit it after this stage, but we're still allowing it to flow through, and we're still bringing it through. And so let's not stop and tend to it just yet. We're still flowing it through. It's still birthing itself. So allow it to continue to birth itself, and allow it to do that, trusting in our inner strength and resilience, and not resisting what is coming through. And what this all leads you to is we have Raido reversed. Raido is the rune of the journey. This is reversed on the path line, which is the end of a chapter, basically. So this whole thing is this chapter, this great creative chapter, and from hearing the call to the completion of the bringing through chapter. This is all going to be enclosed and happen. And then after that, you can work with it. You can edit it, you can polish it, or whatever it is that you need to do with it. Wow, I'm looking forward to this for you. So that is your reading for Pick an 8. I wish you all the best with this, and thank you so much again for 800 subscribers. I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 2 people. So this is for the 8 of Wands. Now this is the one that in the Smith-Waite deck has the wands all flying at the same time really, really fast. And this always means like things are happening really quickly. So it is a fire card. So it's like the fire is huge and it's like everything is happening really fast. So let's get some runes down, very fiery runes. I'm using the Carnelian runes today. Oh, I forgot to say, so today we're using the Lepus Tarot and the Elder Futhark on Carnelian crystals. So let's get this message down. Yes, I get that. That works. For sure. How are you as I lay down this reading? We had a thunderstorm happening. When I did the introduction, I think it was still going on, and it was going on before that. Well, we had a little bit before. But yeah, so I was worried about how that was going to go down, and it actually didn't have a reversal, so it didn't matter. So I'm going to lay down the entire reading, and then I'm going to go from there. This is the kind of reading that when I do these readings in person, I refer to them as half-rack readings. Because it's like a half rack. I don't have time to explain that. I'll explain it later. So, or if you've had me read for you, maybe I've explained it to you. Central issue for you, card number 2 people who chose the 8 of Wands. Things moving very quickly for you right now. Quite possibly in a creative way, but even if it isn't, it's just like things are moving very, very quickly for you right now. So central issue for you, we have Othala reversed. As always, whenever I see Othala reversed, I start by reading it these 3 ways. Letting go of things that no longer serve, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and finding home within. You pretty much have to, because things are moving so quickly that you don't actually have a choice. So the best option is to choose it. Since you don't have a choice, choose the only choice, which is to go along with how fast things are moving and to move forward with them. What isn't going to help is we have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. Sorry, that's not what isn't going to help. That's where we're coming from. Fehu, wealth and worth, which in some circles is considered a fire rune, although there is a fire rune, and I don't generally consider Fehu a fire rune, but some circles do, and it certainly stands here with the Carnelian and with the 8 of Wands. So you had that sense of worth, and you had the things that you're taking care of. The thing about Fehu is that it's not money yet. It doesn't become money until the younger Futhark. So it's right in this, it's cattle, which is your movable wealth and the wealth that you tend. These are the things that are in your life that whenever you take care of them, that's what gives your life meaning and worth. As long as you're taking care of these things, as long as you're taking care of the cattle. So this leads to great sense of worth, and just the things that you were taking care of basically have got to the point where, okay, now you feel this great worth and you can move forward with it. Things are moving forward, as the card indicates, very, very quickly. And now you're in a situation where you do need to let go of things that no longer serve, where you do need to step outside of your comfort zone, and where you do need to find home within that calm in the storm, the eye of the storm, where you can be that in the middle while all this is going on. What is going to help you with that is we have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. This is generally chaos, things that are out of your control, and weather, but it's also nature, including your nature. So just embrace the natural forces of what's happening now. I think that's another thunder, maybe? Oh, well, anyway. Embrace, that would be very apt if a thunder happened while I was talking about Hagalaz. So embrace the natural progression of things that are happening right now, because it's big and you can't really argue with it. So embrace that, not only with what's happening around you that you don't have control over, but your own true nature, which is you. And you are as powerful as the things that you have no control over. So, and so you can last that out. You can be that power that moves with the power that's around you. But either way, this has kicked into a situation like this. All what's been moving forward has now come into a situation where it is not stoppable. It's just flying forward. And if this is, and as I was reading actually earlier about 8 of Wands and the whole thing about, if it's something that's good that's moving forward for you, then you're going to be very happy about it. But if it's something that you've been dreading that's moving forward very, very quickly, then maybe not so much. So, but anyway, either way, this is nature. This is natural. This is happening very naturally, and it's rushing forward. So embrace that, and also remind yourself that you too are a force of nature. What is not going to help you is we have Raido reversed. This is your temptation. Raido is the rune of the journey. This is your life's journey. It's reversed on the lower line, which is what is not helping you. Once again, the way I read, this is your path through the issue. This is what helps and this is what doesn't. These tend to be opposites, and this is always the antidote to this. So at this point, when things are moving so very quickly, you may be tempted to dig in your feet and say, no, I'm not going forward with this. It's too fast. It's too crazy. And, you were feeling very, very confident about this. You were feeling like you had a lot of worth to this. But as soon as things started to really, like where things started to change around you, because that's the thing, is things are moving so quickly that you're knocked right out of your comfort zone. Like everything is changing, and this is why you want to find your sense of home within, because that's where you're going to have that stability that you need, because everything else around you is changing because things are moving so quickly. So there is going to be that temptation to dig in and try to stop, but you can't, and that's the thing. It's out of your control. So it's best to embrace that. And as I said, if you have no choice, make the choice that is the only choice. Be a part of that so that you all move forward together. So your next step on the path line, and what is pinning the entire reading as the key of the entire reading and the focus of it, is we have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest, and also time. So this is like, now is the time. This is where all the abundance is going to be coming through, which is what all this is for anyways. Like, everything is coming out at once. So this is basically where the abundance is. So take advantage of this once it reaches the next step. So that now is the time to act. Now is the time to harvest. Now is the time to bring things through, to focus on the abundance, and to just basically act the way that you need to at this moment. Because now this whole line is like overwhelmed, only in a good way, because it's all in the upper parts. So your step itself is the harvest. What is going to help you with that is Dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. Everything is coming at you at once. It's full illumination. Your entire field of vision is filled. You have a great sense of the big picture in this moment, but you can see everything, and everything is coming at you. And yes, it can feel absolutely overwhelming, but it is, once again, embracing that, because everything is moving so quickly, you don't really have a choice in this, so make that your choice. So everything's coming at you, you can see everything very, very clearly, and now is the time to act, and because you're seeing everything, you can even do better with your harvest than you would otherwise. What isn't going to help is we have Thurizaz. Thurizaz is the rune of the challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is upright, but it's on the lower line. So it's worries about how challenging this is. It's not a hard challenge. It's basically what you've been going towards all along. So the door is open, but it's still worrisome because everything is going to be different on the other side of that door. It already is. So that's the fear. And once again, just like with the first line, what helps you is basically embracing this. It's like, okay, but I'm seeing everything coming at me at once. This is what I've been going towards. This is what I've wanted. It just happened it's like it's all tumbling down a hill right now in terms of the speed that isn't stopping. Snowballing, except we've got a lot of fire imagery instead of snow. So, and that continues until here, which is a lovely ending. So embrace that. Once again, embrace what's happening, because this is what you wanted. And even though it's daunting now that it's happening and everything is changing and everything is moving so fast, remind yourself that this was what you were pushing towards to begin with, so this is where you want to be. Your next step on the path line, we have Laguz, which is the rune of water. It's emotion, intuition, heart, and flow, and it's a perfect rune for this point, because this is not only the cooling of what was happening, so it's going to be a little bit more watery. It's still going to be moving forward relatively quickly, but I think we've had the peak of that here. It is sort of a slowing, and it's where you're getting more reconnected with heart, reconnected with emotion, reconnected with intuition. It's emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. And so it's a little bit cooler. Even this particular cut of Carnelian is a little bit duller. So it's like it's cooling a little bit. It's like when with forging, and when you're done and you quench it, and that's sort of what's happening here. It's like, okay, we're changing elements a little bit. What is going to help you with that, which I can barely see because it's fallen over, is we have it's not fallen over. It's just that they're not regularly shaped. We have Ingvaz, which is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is the fertility god. This I read as active creation. So at this point, when things start to cool, this is when you can start to work, where you can actually start shaping things. So I guess not entirely a quench because you're still shaping it, but this is where you are, it is cooling, and so you want to work quickly to shape things, and this is where you're going to start working on that. And that's what's going to help you, is like, this is where you're going to do the final shaping of things, because here's where you're bringing it through, and then here's where you're like, okay, I'm going to work around it and work on it while it's still hot, and work on that as it is cooling. What isn't going to help is you're a little bit worried about happiness, and you're a little bit worried about contentment. You can just sit how you want to be. This is Vunyo. It's the rune of joy. In the lower line, it's a very positive rune, so it's a worry about that thing. So you're a little bit worried about, first of all, your own happiness with what you're doing, and where is my happiness in this, but also a sense of, will I be contented with what I get out of this? It's that whole thing is, as it's cooling down and you're working on it quickly, you want it to be coming through like okay. And so there is that worry about contentment, and that might affect what you're doing as you shape it. But definitely your focus has to be on, using what you have to control what you can in this moment as things are cooling. What this is all going to lead you to is we have Evaz reversed. Evaz is the rune of the horse. The horse is movement and also spirit. This is the galloping rune. It is reversed on the path line at this point. So it really is exactly a perfect ending for this this little path, where we have, you've got the inspiration, which honestly that's in those circles where this is a fire rune, that's what this is the inspiration. So there's that. And then it's coming from that sense of worth. And then suddenly you have to let go of what isn't serving you because you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, because it's all going so fast and changing so quickly. And then we have the harvest, where we're bringing everything through, and then things are cooling, but they're still flowing. And ultimately then now finally we can rest. We have Evaz, which is the horse. It's reversed. And so it's sort of like the resting horse at this point. It's like, okay, the gallop is over. The horse can rest. Whew. So that is your reading for those of you who chose the Eight of Wands. I wish you all the best with this, and thank you again for 800 subscribers. And I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to those of you who chose the Strength card. And it is an 8. So let's move it over here. Obvious what this is about. It's not necessarily obvious what this is about. So it is basically, in the older tarots, it's sort of the whole representation of, wrestling with one's animal nature, but it's really no longer that. What it is sort of, it's more like coming to terms with one's shadow sides, and you get that whole thing where, once you welcome it and embrace it, then it becomes an ally. So there's that. But I think this may actually be wrestling with it. This is a bit of an edgy deck, but that's why we love it. So let's get some runes down and see what the rest of this message is. Ooh, very good. Othala reversed has shown up in every reading so far today. And Yira. I do mix these. Listen. Ooh, that one. Okay, I think that one wanted to come out there, and then that's your center. Yes. Interesting. So I do still see that element of these are such wobbly runes, that element of embracing the shadow based on the key center rune in this and its surroundingness. Yes. Alrighty, neat. Very neat. So yeah, I think honestly what I was saying about this is very much what we're seeing here, where this is basically embracing a shadow aspect, something that was frightening, but now that we are taking it in and integrating it, then it becomes an ally. So let's start with the central issue. The central issue here is Raida reversed. Raida is the rune of the journey, and this is turning the journey inward. Yeah, I'm really seeing it like that. This may also indicate the end of a chapter in your life, but I'm really seeing very strongly, let's turn the journey inward. Let's look inward and find what we can find. Leading up to this, we have Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. Reversed, I always start by reading it as letting go of things that no longer serve, finding home within and stepping outside of your comfort zone. But I also see this as feeling ousted from your comfort zone in this sense, like something has like unseated you. You found yourself outside of a general state of comfort. And this is why you're turning your journey inward to find what caused this. And this is going to be very important to work with. Your lion. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying it's your Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. No, that's completely wrong. You are Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. Going to be embracing your shadow, which is your Y-O-U-R lion. I do have an English degree. Anyway, so what's going to help you at this point is, first of all, as soon as you start doing this, you're going to see results. We have Euro, which is the rune of the harvest, and also time. You're going to be seeing the fruits of your labors almost right away, and also just embracing this as this is the time in which you need to be doing this. Now is the right time. Now is the season that you're going to be doing this, and you're going to be bringing things through immediately for it. As soon as you turn inward and start working on this, you're going to start to see results. And it's going to give you a great sense of abundance and nourishment. What isn't going to help is you may feel unworthy of this task. And this comes from the uncomfortableness of finding yourself outside of your comfort zone. And then you sort of feel like, am I worthy of this? So we have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. This has to do with cattle. So it's the wealth that you tend. But reversed in the lower line, I'm really seeing this as, your senses, your worries about whether or not you're worthy to do this. And of course you are. And you don't even have to think about that, because as soon as you start doing it, and as soon as you did start doing this, because this is happening now, you started to see results. You started to get something from this. So definitely continue with that. And in this center spot, which is the key to the entire reading and what is pinning the entire reading, we have Algiz reversed. Algiz is a rune of the elk, otherwise known as the moose, and it has to do with protection and support. Reversed, it's inner, especially on this line. So there is that sense of learning to support yourself in this and learning to be your own protection. And this is more ready to happen once you've embraced this lion. This inner lion of yours. What's going to help you with that is we have Ingvaz. Ingvaz is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is a fertility god. And this has to do with active creation. You are using what you have, which now includes your lion, to control what you can and to shape what you can and to construct around you what you need. And that's going to now include this shadow aspect that you tamed or are in the process of taming, that is going to give you even more strength than you ever thought you had access to, which is very exciting. Your next step. What isn't going to help you on this stage is the blank rune, because it's really, really new. You have never moved forward integrating your lion. It was always something that you were worried about before, but now that you've embraced it and it's a part of you and it's working with you as an ally, this is new ground, and it's very worrying because, you were worried about it for so long. But once again, this is why we're taking the time in this moment to really, shape what you have, take what you have and shape what you need to out of it, because this is where you're going to build the framework of how this is going to work, you integrating with your lion. Your next step on the path line, we have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. This has to do with agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. It's always an exchange. And in this case, given the storyline that we've been talking about so far, these are rules that you're going to lay down, some ground rules with this newly embraced shadow aspect with your lion. And this is basically how you're going to learn to dance together. This is the communication that's being established between you as you are integrating with each other. What is going to help you with that? We have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. This has to do with, I often read it as chaos and things that are out of your control, but really it has to do with nature. And it's your true nature, and you're embracing more of your true nature than you ever have before. And so looking at it as something to embrace rather than something to fear in this case is definitely going to help you. And just remembering that you are a force of nature and this is a part of you, and that you are just as strong as this lion. What isn't going to help is we have Nauthiz, which is the rune of need. I'm going to actually expand on this line. So let's see. Yeah, and that's going to allow you to be the stillness in the storm. And yeah, what's scary about it is, so first of all, it's a lot. And this is a lot. And this is probably why you were frightened of it for a long time, because whenever it would rear its head before, people would probably say, oh, you're too much, you're a lot, blah, blah, blah. Jerks. So, because it was you. And it's like them saying, we only like you when you're not all of you. Yeah, well, anyway. So this is why we're embracing this. And this is also why we're setting down some ground rules. Because, you know, there are things that we know that in general, we want to be, you know, poised. So we are a bit worried about the needs of the lion and the needs of our nature. And the reason, what's behind that is we have dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day, so that's overwhelm. So that you're worried that it's going to be like too much. This is kind of like the sun card if you're into tarot, because it's the breaking of the day, it's the dawn. So if that starts to worry you, bring yourself back up to here. It's like, no, I am a force of nature, and this is a part of me, and I am just as strong as it is. And what will help you even more with that is recognizing that allows you some stillness in that storm. We have the horse, which is Avaz, and this has to do with movement and also spirit. It's reversed on the upper line, so that's calm stillness. So it's the stillness in the storm that this allows you to be once you've embraced it. Because if you're not and you're running around, and it's not going to be calm. But you are being calm now because you've made friends with it. What this is all going to lead you to is we have Thurizaz reversed. Thurizaz is the rune of the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is a challenge. Whenever it's upright, it's a relatively easy challenge. It's just a threshold to cross. But when it's reversed, it's a thorn wall. It is a difficult challenge, and I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, by the time you get to this point, you will be ready for any challenge, even impossible ones. But the other way I'm going to read this is a lot more doorways are going to open for you within once you take this on. Once you've accomplished this, which you will have at this point, and this is your X marks the spot to show it, you will see more doors opening within you that will lead you to more aspects of self that you can go through this process with, so that you can become even more of who you were than you ever were before. So that is your reading for Pick an 8. I wish you all the best with this, and thank you so much again for 800 subscribers. Yay! And I wish you all the best, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye! Hello to all of you who chose the Eight of Swords, card number 4. It's a 5-1 this time. So anyway, Eight of Swords, I'm going to move it over here. This is where you feel like you're not seeing things clearly and that everything around you feels dangerous and you can't see it. And so you're stressed. It's scary. Let's get some runes down. Okay, yes, exactly. There's a sense of overwhelm. I'm not going to read them all as I'm putting them down, but I'm going to lay it out. How are you in these rare times? I hope you're well. I hope you and all around you is as well as can be. I'm glad to see Yira in this spot. I am mixing these, listen. But I'm seeing a lot of the same runes in similar spots, which is neat. But of course there's only 24 of them, so so it's the odds are good if I'm using half of them that we're going to see a lot of the same ones. So yes, your central issue for this reading for the Eight of Swords is we have dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. This is everything coming at you at once. This is full illumination. This is your entire field of vision is filled, and it's like overwhelm. Everything is coming at you. It's even reflected here, and it's basically, it's like everything seems to be flying at you and you feel like there's nowhere you can run, and it's just overwhelming you. And I've said all of that. So what led up to this was your journey so far. You've been just going along, la la la, and then suddenly you find yourself in this situation where you feel rather threatened, but you can't see what the threat is, and you can't see it. You can just sort of feel it and hear it and smell it and sense it. But you can't see it. So things are not clear right now, and it all just feels really, really overwhelming. So what is going to help you? We have Algae reversed. Algae is the rune of the elk or the moose, depending on what continent you're on. It's protection and support. It is reversed on the upper line, so that's inner. So it's a sense of being able to stand up for yourself. It's a sense of being able to support yourself and protect yourself. And you are able to do that. So just remember that. Your journey so far has taught you this. So you are in a situation where you are able to stand up and you are able to support yourself and protect yourself. And even though you feel a bit threatened in this moment, you don't feel so threatened that you can't rely on what you've learned so far to help you. And I want you to look at the swords in the picture, because they are exactly that. They are, look at all of the little algae's reverses. So that's really interesting. What is not going to help you? We have Ingvaz, which is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is a fertility god. This has to do with active creation. There is a temptation to over-control at this point. And understandably, like, it's understandable that at this point you're going to want to really take control of things and get stressed out because things are not in your control. And so definitely control what you can, but this is new ground. You might even see this as a bit of a test, and just keep moving. Okay, don't move forward if you feel it's dangerous, but move forward in terms of just look back on what you've been able to do for yourself so far to support yourself and protect yourself, and that's what you're going to be working with. Do a lot of inner work with that as well. Like, look for your inner support. So your resilience for sure, the knowledge that you've accumulated, but also look inward for your support systems. Maybe you have mantras that you can use. Maybe you have guardians, guides, goddesses, gods, ancestors, angels, dragons, whatever you can call on. That kind of thing as well is totally on the table, because this is reversed algae. So it's your inner support, and this is you're able to stand up in the midst of this. So do what you need to do to get through this moment of overwhelm. Your next step on the pathline, and pinning the entire reading, is this is great, because once you get through this step, things are going to open up to you to the point where it's like abundance coming through. So it's almost like you're seeing the results for your bravery in this moment. And the next step is where you start to see them. We have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest. This is also the rune of time. But it's basically in this moment, things are coming through, and it's the action. Like you are now able to take action on this. The things that are coming through, you're able to take, you're able to see the fruits of your labors. You're able to take in the nourishment. You're able to, take in the abundance of what happened because you got through this step. It's like the sun rose, and it was just like in your eyes and in your face and everything coming at you. But then once that calmed a little, you saw that everything was there for you, and it's now something you can use to nourish yourself with. We have what is helping you. We have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. This is, I often read this as chaos and things that are out of your control, but really it's nature and it's weather. So remembering that the scary times are by their very nature brief, but also that you too are a force of nature. And so, yes, there are going to be things that are out of your control, and just basically to accept that, but also that you too are a force of nature, and that you were very brave in this moment, and now that you're here, you're getting you're getting the fruits of your labors for doing that. So remember how strong you are and how powerful you are, and that you are also natural, but also that this is a brief time. So one of the things about this is that Yira speaks of is a sort of a now is the time thing. This is the right moment to do the harvest. So reminding yourself that you don't have much time to do this, and to do it while you can, but also reminding yourself that scary things are also brief, and here we are at the end of that. What isn't going to help you is we have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. It's cattle, so it's the wealth that you tend, but it's a very positive rune in a negative spot, so you're worried about that. It's a worry about that thing. So what doesn't help you in this moment is worrying about the worth of what you're doing right now. Just focus on doing it. You don't have time to worry about whether other people are going to think it's worthy, because it's worthy for you. So definitely take the time, use the time now that this is happening, and go in and do what you need to do with it, because now is the time. Now is the time, and now is the time. Your next step on the pathline, we have Avaz, which is the rune of the horse. This is movement and also spirit. So from this point, you gallop. From this point, things start moving very, very quickly, and that's fine, because you are with that. Your spirit, whatever spirit is for you, is carrying you out of this moment. What's going to help you with that is now is the time that you are going to want to take care of your most urgent needs. So triage if you need to, but you know what your emergencies are. Take care of those. Also, look to your inner needs because it's reversed on the upper line. Okay, that's not thunder, that's a vehicle. What isn't going to help you is now is not the time to stop. We have Isa, which is the rune of ice. This is stillness and standstill. It's the stillness through which clarity comes when it's on one of the higher lines, but right now it's just a warning against stopping. You are worried about stopping too, but it's really a warning more than anything else. This whole thing is about movement, so Avaz is about moving forward. I completely forgot to introduce the card and runes that I'm using this time in this reading. So we're using the Lepus Tarot and we are using the Elder Futhark on Carnelian crystals. Now I may continue. So we have what isn't going to help you in this moment where movement is the key is feeling like you need to freeze or feeling like you need to stop and grind to a stop. You're coming out of this at a gallop, so even though you may be tempted to stop, moving forward is what you need to do at this point. You need to get as far away from this as possible, which you already were doing, but you need to really get, now that you have cleared all of this and now you've pulled through what you need to gallop. Let your spirit carry you and take care of your needs, especially the ones that need to be taken care of the most, and also look to your inner needs because that's going to help you the most, and try to resist the urge to freeze. What this is going to lead you to is we have the blank rune. The blank rune, it has to do with absolutely new ground. You will be on completely new ground. And this is part of why this was scary, because you knew you were going towards it and suddenly you were feeling like you were surrounded by swords. But the thing is that it's new ground. It's trackless, it's mapless, it's pathless. This is brand new for you. It's a blank canvas. It's a blank page. It's all of that newness and it's all for you. And you have galloped onto it and now whatever you want to do. It's all open to you. So that, card number 4 people, those of you who chose the 8 of Swords, is your reading for Pick an 8. So I thank you once again for 800 subscribers. Yay! And I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye! Hello to those of you who chose the 8 of Cups. So this is leaving something behind to look for something else. Sometimes very necessary, where you maybe had like dreams involved with this. Like you may have had plans and wishes and hopes involved with what you're having here, but it just never fully came together. And now you're like, I got to get out of here. Or it's just basically like and it's something that you probably would have put a lot of investment into in terms of time and care. But unfortunately, or fortunately in this case, you've done all you can and now it's time to move on. So let's get some runes down. I am using the Lepus Tarot and I am using the Elder Futhark on Carnelian crystals. So let's get all of the reading down first and then we will read them. What am I doing? Yes. These runes are a bit wiggly. Oh, that couldn't have been a more perfect rune for the center spot in this reading. Like it's basically the card. It's basically the card. I'm so pleased. Okay. Alrighty, perfect, beautiful reading. Here we go. Your central issue, card number 5 people, those of you who chose the 8 of Cups. We have Kaunaz, which is the rune of the torch or the fire. So this is upright. It's an expansion of focus. It's opening out, and you are shining your light forward and away from where you're coming from. What led up to this, we have Tivaz reversed. Tivaz is Tyr's rune. Tyr is the warrior god, and I'm going to read this a few ways. First of all, you felt disarmed recently. You felt like you've been forced to drop your sword, and you feel like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with this quest. This quest is over. And so you laid down your sword and you're moving forward, and things are expanding before you. So you're shining your light forward into the future and not looking back. What is going to help you at this point? We have Ingvaz, which is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is the fertility god. I'm going to read this a couple ways. One way that I normally don't read this as is with that whole ear aspect, which you see in the Younger Futhark and in the Anglo-Saxon Futhark, which is where it's carrying forward. It's looking forward for continuity, but also perpetuity. So you're looking forward at that. I normally don't bring that in because that's Younger and Anglo-Saxon Futhark stuff, but this is where it sort of comes from. So we have Ingvaz, which is Ing's rune. It's active creation, and it's basically, right now we are very carefully constructing, using what we have, what we need to have around us so that we can move forward as comfortably as possible. What isn't going to help us, we have Evaz, which is the rune of the horse. This has to do with movement and also spirit. You are going to be tempted to gallop away from this situation as quickly as possible, and this is not a good idea. Do not rush. You do not want to rush away from this situation. As well, you're worried that you are rushing away from this situation. Like, you're worried like that you were too hasty to leave it, but you really weren't. This situation was no longer viable. So you needed to turn away and move to something else, like turning away from this and move towards something that's healthier for you. So you were not too hasty, so that was a worry. Then let's put that to rest. But also, you're not galloping away from this. You are moving measuredly and carefully away from this and respectfully away from this. So both of those things. You're not rushing, but you also mustn't rush, even though you may feel like, get me the heck out of here. You're giving respect to the closure of it. You are honoring the thing that is ending as you are moving away from it. But you are shining your focus forward. But yeah, so what is going to help is start thinking about and start constructing around you what you need in your new life, which is going to be healthier than what you're leaving. Your next step on the pathline, and pinning the entire reading, being the center point and the key to the whole thing is, and this is why I said it's the most perfect rune that could have gone down, and it is exactly this, is Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. You are leaving what was once that. You are letting go of what no longer serves you. You are stepping outside of your comfort zone, and you are finding a sense of home within, so that wherever you are, you have access to what you can sort of lean on as far as something that will give you solace, sanctuary, and a sense of protection and a sense of comfort that you carry within you, so that even though you're leaving this situation, you have what you need within you as you move forward. What's going to help you with that? We have Nauthiz reversed. Nauthiz is the rune of need. It always means tend to your needs, but when it's reversed, it means drop everything and tend to your needs. So you are going to have immediate needs that are going to need to be triaged and then dealt with. So work on those. Make sure that you're taking care of the things that you absolutely need. And that's going to be absolutely key as you do this. The other way I'm going to read this is that it's reversed. So reversals tend to mean inner. You're going to be looking to your inner needs. Make sure that your inner needs are being taken care of as well as you do this. And that's going to help you with especially the finding home within part of this. What isn't going to help is you're going to be very emotional. We have Laguz, which is the rune of the water. It's emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. And very fitting because this is a cups card. So, and there's the water. So there's a lot of that you're going to be dealing with. It's just going to be a flow. It's going to be an overflow. It's not even necessarily going to be unpleasant emotions. It could be just an overwhelm of emotions. It's the surging of emotions. And you may have a lot of things where you're worried about that. And just this sense of everything is just, it's all going to be so big. Because once you step outside of comfort zone, everything's new, and then everything is like, everything feels salient, and everything feels like I have to pay attention to all of this, and so there's that overwhelm aspect, although I do not see dagas in this spread. Still, what will help you when things are surging is this is all the more reason why we want to basically be taking care of what we absolutely need. This is tending your most urgent needs, triage again if you need to, but this is basically all the things that you need to drop everything and take care of so you can move forward. Do that, and that's going to help you with this. And the more you do that, the less this is going to be surging. It may still be surging, but you'll be able to ride it out, like you'll be able to surf it. And also look to your inner needs. Make sure your inner needs are being taken care of, because that's also part of it. Your next step on the path line, you will see results. You will absolutely see the fruits of your labors. We have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest, and also time. As soon as you cross this threshold, where you've actually really left behind the things that were before, like you're moving away from it here, but this is where you really leave it behind. And once you cross this border, you're going to get all the fruits of your labors. You're going to get results. You're going to see, the abundance. You're going to be bringing things through, and it'll be like, now is the time that I'm going to do this. But also just this sense of, okay, I've accomplished this, and I'm getting the rewards for it. I'm getting results immediately. I'm getting the fruits of my labors. What's going to help you with that is we have Algiz, which is the rune of the elk, otherwise known as the moose. And this has to do with protection and support. Reversed on the upper line, it's inner. So it's you being able to stand up and make these choices, and you being able to support yourself and protect yourself. And you are seeing the fruits of your labors, and you're like, good, this is what I wanted, and taking what you need from it, because you've earned it, first of all, and second of all, you know what to do. What isn't going to help is we have Gabo, which is the rune of the gift. This has to do with agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. It's a very positive rune in a negative spot, so it has to do with worries about that thing. So you're worried about obligations that you maybe have left behind. You're worried about what you can accomplish, any plans that you maybe had. What's behind all of that, though, is just this sense of overwhelm, because now you've left your comfort zone. We have Dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day. So that is Dagas. That's the one I was talking about, that sense of overwhelm that sort of underlies all of this. And that's like, how can I take care of everything if I'm already feeling overwhelmed? So this is why this is a worry, and this could drag you down. If this starts to be the case, bring yourself back up to Algiz reversed, which is you knowing what to do. You know how to support yourself. You know how to protect yourself, especially once you've crossed this threshold. What is going to help with that is remembering that you too are a force of nature. We have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. This has to do with, I sometimes read it as chaos and things that are out of your control, but it's also weather, and it's also nature. And in this very, very high spot, this is your own true nature. This is your power in the world. And this is what feeds into your sense of independence, your sense of being able to support yourself and protect yourself, and really the confidence that comes with that, especially now that you're seeing the fruits of your labors coming through. And that's going to help you overcome this as well. Just these worries about obligations and these worries about the overwhelm. It's like, no, but I can support myself. I know what I'm doing, and I am very powerful. When it comes down to it, it's not like you're going to go down the street going, I am very powerful, although that might be funny to do. And if you feel like it, it certainly will get some giggles if you do it in the right way. What this is all going to lead you to is a greater sense of confidence and self-esteem. We have Fehu reversed. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. This has to do with cattle, which is the wealth that you tend. These are the things that whenever you take care of them in your life, they are what give your life a sense of wealth and worth. It's reversed on the path line, so that becomes inner. So it's your inner wealth, your inner worth, your self-esteem, and your confidence. So all of this is going to lead you to much greater confidence as you move forward. You may not have arrived where you feel you would like to be, but you certainly will have left behind where you definitely didn't want to be. And you feel confident that you can take on whatever you need to on your path ahead, on your way to where you want to be. So that, card number 5, people, is your reading for Pick an 8. I wish you, first of all, I thank you once again, so much for 800 subscribers. Hooray for all of us. I am so grateful. Let's keep going, everybody. And I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.